Okay. So, I think I mentioned this before, right? So I asked you guys like if you can buff one character that's not your own, who would you buff?
Hmm.
Anyone can just like throw their
You
opinion
mean
on
like
this one.
in the current patch?
Yeah, current patch.
Uh,
I guess I'll just go first.
I'd buff Gran.
You buff Grant?
Grant?
Yeah, buff Gran.
Would you give him back his boot?
Yeah, let the boot free, man.
Yeah,
Let the
I
boot free.
would reduce recovery on boot, but just leave it as it is right now, so it's like less punishable on hit. Because I feel like the rest of the nerfs are fair, but like the fact that boot's punishable on hit right now at a lot of ranges is actually not good for like normal boot. Because he doesn't really have like the range as like the other Shotos do.
Yeah, honestly, like it's weird. Like I miss Grant. I miss him. I don't see him no more. I miss the Tims. Like that Tim meme, like my man got freaking Crocs now, man. It's not fair. That man Grant was like New York representation, and we lost him.
As a former, well, I don't want to say as a former Street Fighter player, as a person who played Season 1 Ryu and then saw that character drop off the face of the earth in Season 2, I'm completely fine with what happened to Grant. But yeah, I think if you make it not punishable on hit, then he should be fine.
But yeah, even right now, he has like, unless they like do something about like some other characters, he gets power creep in this current patch. So we'll just have to see how it goes.
Just a comment. I switched to Akuma 4 months after playing Ryu. I played Ryu for the 4 months of Season 2, and then I switched to Akuma. So I struggled with that character. Don't get me wrong. Is it weird that I kind of want to see like Narmaya buffed a little? Because like,
I would definitely look at you kind of crazy.
Like, I don't feel like Narmaya has a like. It's weird because like I've seen like every character frequently at a high level outside of Asaraga at some point, but Narmaya I don't feel has enough representation, and I don't know if it's because people feel like why play Narmaya when you can do other why play Narmaya when other characters can do what she does, but easier.
I mean, from personal experience, I just feel like she requires a pretty high level like understanding of the game, like really high compared to most characters. But that's just my personal opinion.
I think
Yeah,
the
I just
pressure
think
is really weird.
yeah, like
Yeah,
it's
you
definitely,
need-
I think she's a high execution character. So in the environment that we're playing in now due to COVID, it's hard to play a hard execution character with delay plus the randomness of online. Like it could be a definitely like a daunting experience, especially for Narmaya players. Like it's already a daunting experience for people who play this game every day. Now imagine you're not even playing the top tier. You're just playing, it's just some character who is supposed to be good, but it's not good because circumstances. So honestly, I do think Narmaya is a pretty decent character, but we're not going to see the full potential until offline comes back.
I personally just think we don't have that many here. It might just not be air quotes US character. Sometimes that happens. On both ends, sometimes there's characters that like Asia or Europe wouldn't play, but a lot of Americans do. I'm definitely thinking of Rufus in Street Fighter 4 right now.
I think she's good, but yeah.
Like I definitely wouldn't mind a push, but I think she's pretty much fine. I say just give it a bit more time. Like I've definitely seen a couple of good Narmaya players. It's just not enough to really say that she's like bad or good. Like I just think just to give her a little bit more time. I am worried if she gets buffed again. This is gonna be complaining about Narmaya, and we already complained about like half the cast. So
I think if you want to play a Shoto this patch, she's one of the only ones I would look at, or a Shoto type character anyway.
All right, so I also mentioned a character that would get nerfed. All right, so just for like simplicity reasons, no Bellio. You get to nerf one other character, not Bellio.
All right,
Lancelot.
Zeta.
Wait, I want to buff Cagliostro though.
Well, you said you want to buff Cagliostro?
Yeah.
I don't think I feel comfortable with Diaphone having that level of power in my life. Like,
I
I'm cool with it.
Player 2, like what? Like what?
Nerf
Like-
Matera. No, let me be serious for a second.
No, I'm the only person allowed to play that character. You didn't know that?
But in all seriousness, don't nerf Lancelot. I'm definitely tired.
Outside of that, nerf Zoe.
Dang.
Yes, I agree with that.
She is
100%.
so
Fuck Zoe.
annoying. Oh
Nerf
my
Zoe.
gosh.
Nerf Zoe.
She is
First off,
so
I get knocked
annoying.
down. She's such a huge snowball. Like, I swear, I get knocked down one time. Have you, like, Diaphone, you don't have to worry about this. We have to block for at least 20 goddamn seconds.
So like, here's the
No,
thing.
but no. She's
20
moving around with special moves, but she's not Charlotta, and I don't like that.
I would say nerf Zoe, but my character sauces that character, so I don't need to care about that. What I will say is that this character Lancelot needs to have that freaking 2-2H input changed.
Why my input changed? That's so weird.
Because I'm tired of this character and their players just holding down and just mashing the skill button thinking, hey, you have good defense.
Whoa, my defense is immaculate. What are you talking about?
I mean, my defense is
Yeah, Miss. Okay, Turbulence.
Turbulence is balanced.
Turbulence is
No.
balanced.
No.
Actually, real quick, didn't they nerf the amount of damage you get on groundbound this version by a lot?
Yes.
Like a lot.
800.
Once I saw that, I'm like, you know what? I used to really hate this move because I will never forget. First week I bought GranBlue versus the JP. I imported the game, right? I fought Monarch, right? First set ever. First time fighting Lancelot. I did 2-on-4M with Charlotta because I'm like, 2-on-4M +1 has a gap, whatever, right? Tell me how I lost 60% of my life. For what? I tried to get plus frames and I lost 60%.
Should have been blocking.
I literally deleted that move from my moveset. Whenever I fight Lancelot, I delete that move. I stopped using it. I pretended to not exist. I literally stopped using it. I was done. Nope. I remember fighting those at Super TSB. Didn't use it once. Worthless move against Lancelot. Like, no. What do you mean I lost all my life because... and then 5H, 6XL, 5H, 6SH, 5H, Super. I love it. Like, what? I hate... Oh my god. I'm glad they nerfed that.
Just sniffing that.
But in all seriousness, though, over time, I had less problems with the ground pound, but more so the input. Because, a common thing I do to check people to DPing is to snipe them from trying to press forward. Against Lancelot, I can't even do that. Like, they can just hold down. And then that just leads to all sorts of problems.
Yeah, the only issue with the move is that it's like, all right, I'm pressuring you, and you just press it. There's no thought process behind it. 100% of the time, while you're knocked down and you have turbulence, you are using turbulence. And no, mind you, Jump You has no hurt box. Practically no hurt box. Even if I'm hitting you, I am not hitting you. It's just going right through you.
I'm gonna just say, right? I feel like 9 times out of 10. I'm only speaking for me and Omni side. For me, Omni, anyone that was on the Lancelot Roundtable, I'm gonna just say that, right? Anyone who was on the Roundtable, I feel like half the time, whenever we use turbulence, it's not because we were knocked down. It's because we were standing up and you triggered fight or flight, and we just chose to fly at that point. So,
see, I kind of like it this version since the groundbound doesn't kill you. What I can do is, if someone wants the turbulence, I can OS super and win the game.
And
so,
and on top of that, I don't
with
think people know. I don't think people know about this, but like the counter hit conversion for turbulence has completely changed this season. I'm not sure if people know that.
yes,
Yeah.
So like, unless you're crouching, I don't get the. So if you're standing, I don't get the same conversion anymore. It's when you're crouching, I get the whole. I'm gonna like clean half your life bar now. So it kind of works in a sense because like if you're trying to anti-air lance turbulence, you're possibly doing a crouching normal to begin with. So it's like, okay, I can understand that like trade-off. But if you're standing and you get counter hit by turbulence, I feel like you should die. Like I feel like honestly you should be dying because I don't know what the hell you were doing in order to get counter hit standing versus turbulence. But that's just me.
So
So
actually, the chat brought up a point where like since there's a vulnerable spot and like on wake up you could technically OS it. My problems come in with turbulence like mid block string. Like on wake up, I don't really care. Like I have ways.
That's my problem with turbulence. It's just when it's done randomly. It's like I don't know.
I mean, I think that move on design is really strong because he just. I mean, I've seen people in Japan just do it on block. He just teleports like. Like even not even the H teleport, the M teleport. They just teleport away. It's like what happened, right? But I don't know. It's kind of silly.
Yeah. They can like tweak it a bit more. It's more so like really potent against grapplers in particular.
You should have been trying to grab me, fam.
It's not my problem.
I don't even try to grab you like that. That's how serious it is.
Like, I mean, Naji never has to worry about me playing Lance against him because he plays Jita. I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna just.
Yes, exactly. I'll know you'll never play Lance against my Jita ever.
Yo, fam, versus characters that be trying to maul me. I'm like, okay, y'all need to be hit with this nice ass stop button.
But yeah.
And the worst part about it is it's a bad matchup. I have to learn a different character just to beat your person. So,
but yeah, like outside of that move though, I can definitely tolerate this version of Lance.
Oh yeah, he's way more tolerable than freaking season 1. Season 1, yeah,
it's like
glue.
It's like he's top tier, but it's a lot more reasonable this time around.
Well, we don't talk about launch Lance. That no.
Yeah, we don't talk about launch.
Oh, okay. So you bring up an interesting topic. You bring up an interesting topic, right? So because you mentioned launch characters, and this is like something I've seen quite frequently versus the concept of like Elio, right? So I just want to hear like so in order, based off like alphabetical orders of our name, right? So it would be Bace, Diaphone, Fame, Naji, Omni, Realize, myself, then Tempest, right? So do you think Abelio is stronger than Launch Lance and Launch Catalina? We're not gonna talk about Launch Fairy because Launch Fairy was the toxic human being that should have never been never been implemented in this game. But versus
that character was hilarious.
But Launch Lance and Launch Cat, do you think Abelio was a stronger character than those two?
Hell no.
When you say launch, is there still proximity guard OSs? Oh, that's hard.
What proximity?
I mean, I kind of literally day one when the game.
That version was out for literally a month.
I think because I don't know. Because if you're counting proximity, like I literally didn't even get to play that version in tournament. Like
if you count proximity, Fairy was unstoppable.
Yeah, I think Fairy is like number one if you're talking about proxy OS because you literally you're not even playing the game at that point. You're OSing in neutral, so it's like
If we're counting proximity, then no.
All right, so like, I feel like unanimously we will probably.
I think Belial is like at least around the same level though, probably.
All right, so if you remove the proximity OS, do you think Belio is as strong as those two?
It's hard to say because Catalina and Lancelot were really jokes that version, but it's. I want to say it's similar strength. I don't want to say it's I wouldn't want to say Belial's just clearly stronger. But I don't think he was weaker either. He was definitely better than Launch Gran. Like, current Belial is better than Launch Gran for sure.
Okay, so he says equal strength. What do you think, Diaphone?
I think it's Launch Fairy, then Launch Lance, which is actually really stupid of a character. That character is definitely stronger than Belly. Like 668, you couldn't react to practically. That jump U, which was like 5 frames quicker, that shit was actually OD. That shit was actually too good. But other than that, like maybe it's the same strength as Launch Cat. Launch Cat was really good. Belial's really good. It's hard to tell, honestly.
Okay, so
I'd put him like in between Launch Lance and Launch Cat.
Noted. Fame.
So, yeah, I think my list is pretty similar. I would have like Launch Fairy, then Launch Lancelot, and then Launch Belial and Cat are tied.
Squirrel said, "You know what's hilarious? So Squirrel is in. So for those who don't know, Squirrel is in this Discord chat, right, with us, right? And the fact that she just comes into my Twitch chat and just says, 'Bring back Launch Fairy,' is is the height of toxicity, in my opinion. Naji,
In terms of strength, I definitely do think. Yeah, I would say Gran and Bilal is practically equal in terms of strength back in season 1. They definitely like season 2 was a whole different ball game. Definitely like season 1, like we probably wouldn't be complaining about Bilal as much if we still had like some of the same mechanics and stuff as season 1. Like,
oh, that's a really fun question. I'm about to ask y'all in a couple seconds. Launch Fairy over current Bilal sounds optimal to me. I dropped. Shut up. Omni, sorry.
I actually wouldn't mind watching that matchup though. That shit would actually be OD.
Opinion as D, and he's pretty much equal to Cat or. I mean, he does practically everything everyone else did. It's just that his range for damage actually was probably lower than pre-patch Lance Fairy. I would probably say Cat as well. Cat hit you mid-screen, full screen corner carry with the good knockdown, the double, the MMs, and it's still not your turn afterwards. Actually, no. Actually, I'll put him below Cat. He's probably below Cat for me.
Realize?
I actually think Launch Cat was like the best character in the game, but I mean, I just feel like she hits you for like 75% of your health from like mid screen. So it's like, I mean, Bilal's strong, but he doesn't do that. I think Fairy was like right under her. But if I had to put him somewhere, I would have put him like right under Fairy, personally.
I would say equal strength to Launch Cat, honestly.
A little extra. I actually kind of agree about Cat being pretty dumb on launch. Like ignoring Fairy, Cat had the same thing Lance had going on, where she kind of just like beat everyone or went even, but she actually could beat Lance too.
I forgot about Lancelot. He was really stupid. I would put him right, Lancelot right under Fairy. Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Tempest?
Well then,
Here we go.
so this question is interesting because to me, we're talking about season 2 Bilal versus these season 1 characters, and the way I think about it is, in Japan, Launch Lancelot and Launch Catalina were losing to Launch Ladiva. And in season 2, Belial is everywhere in Japan, and Belial is, statistically speaking, Belial is, without a doubt, the most popular character by far in Japan without competition. And it's kind of just like, well, am I going to compare season 2 Belial to characters who are maybe arguably better, but Belial's impact is much higher, I feel? These season 1 characters were way more equipped to deal with them. Or, well, deal with Lance and Cat, I mean. Launch Fairy, I don't think counts for me because I didn't play that version in tournament. I do think that's just like that's just kind of broken because you're not even playing like the game at that point. You're just OSing in neutral. But maybe as if I'm gonna do a direct comparison to season 1 and season 2 characters, the current version of Bilal would probably be definitely above Gran. But maybe around Cat's level, Lancelot's level. Another thing about the season 1 top tiers is like some people said Lancelot lost to Catalina, and Catalina probably had no losing matchups. But I know currently Bilal also has no losing matchups. So that's another thing.
Back then, the argument was Cat could beat Lancelot, but Lancelot could beat Fairy, and Fairy could beat Cat.
Yeah, forgot actually. People did say that Fairy did very well against Cat. I forgot about that. So yeah, I think actually that further proves what I'm saying though. Like those characters kind of have like a triangle going on where like they could beat each other. Bilal has no triangle. You just go even.
Triangle.
You go even, or that's it. So it's kind of just like I'm not really sure. My perspective is really skewed though because I was able to fight these launch characters with Charlotta, and Charlotta got mostly buffed, and I'm having pretty real issues against Belial. So it's a little The only matchup that I feel that's worse than Belial for Charlotta ever was Catalina. I think that matchup is launch Catalina versus Charlotta is really bad.
Didn't she used to put us elbow on block?
Yeah, season 1, but she also just killed you off of it, so it was like, wow, okay. And she also had mid-screen pressure and whatnot. Belial. So I don't know. I kind of had to have a long-winded explanation for this, but basically, I think if we were to talk about this, I think Belial has a higher impact than all of the characters in this game ever. But I do think if you're talking about pure relative power, directly comparing them to each other, he's probably around Launch Lance's level.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely agree that Belial's had the most impact of any character. I think that's like really hard to debate.
Yeah.
My opinion is like, because like I see Launch Ladiva beating all these characters that everyone knew was really stupid. I know Launch Fairy obviously beat Launch Ladiva, but like besides that, like even Launch Lancelot, where Lancelot won the matchup, it's like, oh, command throw, plus, oh, what's your DP? Yeah, like I like thinking of that. I'm just like,
Don't say that too out loud, because there will be some people who tell you that Lance never beat Ladiva.
I think Lance always beat Ladiva.
So someone mentioned a very interesting point. Hold on, let me see if I can find the comment. Someone mentioned like GranBlue, what is it, Addition Select? I think that would be like really fun to implement in a sense. If they went with like the Street Fighter, the Ultra Street Fighter 4 approach, where like if you're playing offline, you could pick whatever rendition of a character you want. That'd probably be like something cool I want to see. But it is something to note that like Belial's position in the game is pretty polarizing. It's just weird in a sense because like I don't know. So I feel like the community is divided among whether they're fine with Belial or not, and it seems like people who have a negative opinion on Belial tend to get how to put this, involved in some sort of drama or like
Antsy.
Huh?
You could just say antsy.
Yeah, that'd be the better word.
See about talking about Belial. That's it.
For me personally, it's weird, right? Because I feel like before people knew who I was as a player in this game, people, if someone asked you like about Teiga in season 1, I feel like the most common answer would be, "Are you talking about the guy who said fuck Charlotta a lot?" And I'm just like, everyone was kind of fine with me saying fuck Charlotta for an entire season, even after the fact that like I picked a character that counter picked the fuck out of her. So when Charlotta was there and I fought like Bill for the first time and I won a tournament, I think I won Ronin Rumble with Lancelot, and I just said fuck Charlotta. Everyone knew me as that fuck Charlotta guy, and I kept like that motif going to the point where it's like the lobby password, it was in my Twitter bio, and all that good shit, right? And now people are like saying fuck Belial, and despite Belial being way stronger than Charlotta was last season, and now there's like some type of clapback for them voicing their opinions on how strong the character is. And I'm just like, is that really fair? Like, is that really like I don't know how to put it. Like, it's just weird because I'm just like, no one had a problem with me saying fuck Charlotta, so why is it a problem that people are saying fuck Belial? Despite the I don't want to say the how easy the character is, but like just knowing how strong the character is.
The situations are a little different though, right? Because it was one person saying fuck Charlotta versus a whole ton of people saying fuck Belial. So that might skew perspectives. Like maybe there was a Charlotta out there, for example, that didn't like hearing you say that, but it was just you, right? Imagine if that person had to deal with a lot of people saying it. But honestly, like personally, I don't even know why there's a clapback. Like, who cares? It's a part of discussion. Like, yeah, fuck Belial, fuck Charlotta, whoever else. We started the stream saying fuck Valsaraga. Like, that's fine. It should be fine. It's nothing. It doesn't harm the game, doesn't harm anyone's conversations. It just starts conversation, actually.
If anything, I think most people who play fighting games hate a character or two. It's just part of playing games.
Yeah, They're definitely Zero. I'm just said fuck Percival. Listen, fam, Percival versus Shawada is a 5-5 matchup. I have to outplay the fuck out of you to win that matchup now. Roddy Reigns also said
Yeah,
fuck
like
Percival.
just because we dislike like a certain character or something doesn't mean we dislike the game in general.
And
Like,
I
it is
think
definitely
I feel like this also contributes to like being a high level player in a sense that we're like high level players are supposed to be this robotic presence, I guess, in a sense. Because I feel what people aren't understanding is like when we say fuck Mario or like fuck this, fuck X, fuck Y, fuck Z. 9 times out of 10, we are usually saying that out of salt. Like we are pissed at that exact moment. So it shouldn't be like held maliciously against us if we're just tight at the character at that point. We are human beings. We are gonna express our emotions. If I'm tight because I got 5-8 from half screen and then proceeded to lose 40% off a random 5-8 because I was gonna walk or run towards you, I should be allowed to express myself in that manner. Just saying.
Yeah, that's normal. You should just be able to say stuff. And it's also like there is another layer to it where I haven't gotten this much because I don't talk about Belial too much on my Twitter besides posting Belial clips. But from what I've seen, right, and what I've heard from other people, when people clap back at, we'll just say U.S. players saying "fuck Belial," there's this lack of info where they don't realize that in Japan they're saying the same thing. Like when Tempest said ban Belial, FYI, like 4 or 5 top Japanese players said the same thing. Gamera, I think, said it. I know Zeph said it for sure. The Basaraga said it. Ninomai or whatever. Or was it Judge? It was Judge, yeah. Judge said it. Like, there was a lot of top players over there saying things that were, if you were to side by side them with the US players, they were actually more egregious as far as Belial goes. Like, I saw there was a time where M Dash was like, I played Belial and I felt the power. I have to go back to Grand before it's too late. Like,
and well, this is something I've like witnessed currently because like this is probably like the second fighting game that I can do like relatively well in, but it's weird when people like, well, let's take the Tempest thing for example, right? It's weird when Tempest said that, and then people who don't play the game, who have never touched the game, or things of that nature, just like are like now coming after him for his opinion without understanding any context whatsoever. Like, okay, banning him, I don't know. Banning him, I'm like on the fence about. Like, I'm not pro or against it, but at the same time, it's just like I understand his viewpoint on it. And if he's trying to have an opinion, you shouldn't like try to bash him for having an opinion. And at the same time, I also find it really fucking annoying where people are like, oh, but we played through this, so we did through that, and if we were able to do it, that means you guys should be able to do it too. I'm like, that argument is really, really bad. And the most common like argument I see is like, oh, Marvel players played through Vanilla Phoenix, or Dragon Ball Fighters players played through GT Goku. I'm just like, you're talking about a team-based game where if you kill that character once, you have to be like, you're fine at that point. But if you are allowed to pick GT Goku twice or 3 times on a team, I am like 80% sure the meta would have changed entirely, where people would be running Kid Buu double GT, and you would just hate life at that point. So
when people mention stuff like that, they also don't actually know history all that well. As speaking as an anime player, Kokonoi came up often for this conversation, right? And beside the fact that it's pretty obvious in hindsight that she should have got banned, the truth is, saying she didn't get banned isn't fully accurate because Evo actually put out a thing where they said if this character doesn't get patched before the tournament, since it was like a main game at Evo, that she was banned. If she did not get patched, if she stayed like that, she was banned at Evo. And so if that game never got patched before that Evo, she was about to become banned everywhere. Because if Evo says it, you know all the other tournaments are going to say it. And there's a lot of other examples too that are a little strange. I've seen ST examples.
ST Akuma. Oh boy, ST Akuma. ST Akuma hit different.
Well, ST Akuma,
ST was so
but
broke.
even like Osagat, I saw a few people say Osagat. The truth is, Japan actually did soft ban old Sagat. It's Americans that didn't. and that's what changed things. But like, you can't ignore that they actually did ban these characters. These discussions did happen.
Can I say something for the record?
Go for it.
So, regardless of whether anyone agrees or disagrees with me when I did say that, like the first week or whatever, I primarily said it because even I obviously really thought he was too powerful, but also I thought that long term he would be harmful for the game, which kind of made me want to put up the discussion in the first place. Because I thought long term, like my insight was just kind of like, oh, I think he's gonna be this character that everyone's just gonna pick. That was my main thought, and I did not want that to happen because I like the game. So that was one of my main points, regardless of whether anyone disagrees or agrees with me or not. So
And
There
then
was a
and
Japanese player that word for word said maybe we should ban Belial because he's actually really bad for viewership because there's too many of them.
and now you have, what was it, 20? So a third of top 64 in Rage was Belial, and now half of top 8 is Belial.
Well, one of them is a Belial sub.
Hey,
To be
hey,
fair.
hey. We count that. Why did realize to say fuck Vasarago 4 times?
Bruh. But yeah, Lagia, the Catalina player, they only play Belial if they're fighting one. So I would say like 3.5.
I'm gonna round up. That's 4 to me. Okay.
okay, if I may something, the fact that he feels the need to mirror match the character should kind of further prove the point. Every character besides him is literally like it's Belial or it's not Belial. Actually,
Listen, it's either you handicap yourself or you play Bilal. You choose.
like I think that plays a pretty big part in this, right? Like you're playing Belial or you're not. Like actually.
Pick a top tier, fam. Okay, so we actually have other things that we. Hold up, let me not do that. Make sure that I get the right folder here.
Can we talk about banning Vasaraga?
No, let's not do this.
Vasaraga.
He needs to go.
Bruh.